Hello everyone, my name is Emochii and today we're going to be checking out the 1.0 release for A Little Witch in the Woods, a super cute and magical live sim where you will play as Ellie, an apprentice witch, as she explores a mystical forest, helps its charming residents, and experiences the day-to-day life of a fledgling witch. Before we start, I just want to say a big thank you to the devs at Sunny Side Up for sponsoring this video and allowing me to access the 1.0 features early. While I've been skeptical of taking the sponsorships I've been offered in the past, when the team at Sunny Side Up asked me if I wanted to partner up for the full release of A Little Witch in the Woods, I couldn't say no. For those of you who don't know, I've actually been following this game's development for the past 5 years, way before I even started making videos on here, and I bought the early access title as soon as it released. So to think that I now have the opportunity to work with these devs 5 years later to promote their game is honestly such a dream come true. So I want to thank each and every one of you who watches my videos for giving me this amazing opportunity. I am so grateful. Now, without further ado, let's introduce the premise and a quick summary of the main gameplay features, which I'll show off in more detail later. In the enchanting city of Lucerine-Ortu, all witches live together, but to complete her apprenticeship successfully and formally become a witch, Ellie must venture out to one of the many witch houses located throughout the region and assist the nearby village and its locals. Explore a mysterious fantasy world, discovering a plethora of whimsical locations, such as the Cloud Valley and the Starsea Cave, each of which is home to a unique ecosystem of cute creatures and beautiful flora to study and log in your research journal. Throughout your travels, gather various materials and ingredients to process and incorporate into useful potions, which you are sure to find helpful in a problem-solving pinch. And don't forget to keep your eye out for hidden areas, shortcuts, and secrets. Practice and hone the teachings you learn at Witch School, utilising your skills to assist in the redevelopment of a recovering and ever-expanding village, and helping the quirky cast of colourful characters that take up its residence. Chat with your newfound friends and discover their unique tastes and preferences, assisting them with tasks, giving them heartfelt gifts, and uncovering both their stories and close-kept secrets as you make the world a better place. As has been prevalent historically, the witch and the cat are inseparable. Communicate and play with the cats living across the world, each coming with a personality as varied as their appearance, and you may be lucky enough for a fateful encounter resulting in your very own familiar. When you're not forging friendships or restoring villages to their former glory, expand and decorate your own base of operations, as after all, you're going to be here for a while, so you might as well make it cozy. Craft and recolour a wide array of furniture and decorative items, making this place truly your own, and why stop there, you can even customise your very own broomstick. And with the release of the 1.0 version comes the introduction of new stories, content, and various new features, as well as additional quality of life improvements requested by players during early access. From exploring a whole new underground area known as the Starsea Cave, discovering the new creatures that inhabit it, and utilising their unique ingredients to produce potions that will allow you to solve dynamic environmental puzzles, to unlocking a never before seen unrepaired area located to the south of the village, and so much more, a whole new adventure awaits you in the 1.0 update. So if what I've said so far strikes your interest, then the 15th of September is a date to mark down, on which the 1.0 release will go live to the public. If you already have an early access copy like me, then your game will automatically update and you won't need to pay any extra. But if you don't already own the game, then you should definitely check out the 10% off launch promotion, which will be running on Steam from the 15th of September to the 28th, which knocks the game's price down from an already affordable $15.99 to $14.39, and that's in US dollars. Not to mention, the devs have announced a forthcoming price increase in about 1 to 2 months' time, which has currently been delayed due to the delay of the 1.0 release, so it is recommended that if you're interested that you grab the game now while it's still being sold at its early access price point, plus that 10% off discount. The game is also available on the Xbox One and Series XS for a slightly higher price, or at least that's the case here in the UK, and it also has full Steam Deck support as well as controller compatibility on PC, which is how I played. First, let's introduce the core gameplay mechanic. In A Little Witch in the Woods, you will live out the day-to-day life of an apprentice witch, from gathering ingredients and filling out your encyclopedia, to brewing useful potions and magical candies. Each of these mechanics is well fleshed out and in-depth, whether you're recording the latest new species you come across on your adventures, or making sure your cauldron doesn't bubble over. When you discover a new magical species, creature or plant, it's time to pull out your trusty quill and record your findings in your journal. The more you encounter that species, whether that's collecting its unique ingredient, drawing it with your quill, or using specific potions to obtain a better harvest, the more knowledge you will gain, filling out your pages and leading to perks and benefits that are sure to come in handy. And once you've collected and processed your ingredients, it's time to get brewing. Double check your recipe book and start tossing your materials into the cauldron. But beware, not everything will go as you anticipate, and unexpected surprises are sure to put a spanner in the works. Ensure you set the temperature just right and the flame doesn't get too hot, and once you've got that perfect, stir the pot in the correct direction, ensuring its contents don't spill over and your ladle doesn't get caught. Then you have, hopefully, brewed your first potion. Welcome to the stunning village of Wisteria, or at least it once was, and it can be again if you have anything to say about it. Discover the identity and source of the strange prickly vines that curse this land, and banish them, in a story rich and mysterious adventure that you will be unable to put down. Then, once renovations are underway, it's time to start inviting villagers to return. After all, with a community as tight-knit and charming as Wisteria, they're sure to say yes. Once you've got the village and population of Wisteria thriving once more, it's time to focus on befriending the locals and uncovering their unique stories and preferences. Whether that's through assisting them with side quests, gifting them items they love, or stopping by for a quick chat. Each character is distinct and charming, coming to life with their own personality, aesthetic, and role in the village to make for a captivating gameplay experience and a dynamic friendship system. When you're not in the dispensary brewing potions to assist the locals, discover the world of A Little Witch in the Woods. From lush forests to steep mountain pathways to tranquil lakes. With so much to uncover, from new fauna and flora to hidden secrets and chests, take your time as you explore this beautifully hand-drawn 2D pixel art world, whether that's on foot or by broomstick. Every witch needs her kitty familiar, and with 15 plus local village cats to befriend, you're bound to find your forever companion. As the village expands, more cats will come to visit, but keep in mind they are shy, so keep an eye out for any signs of their presence, from paw tracks to discarded fish, and investigate. Once you've discovered a new cat, it's time to draw them in your journal, and from here you can keep track of the foods that they like and how much they trust you. To build friendship with the kitties you come across, drop food items and give them some space to taste test your gifts. Discover each cat's unique flavour profile through trial and error, recording their favourite treats in your journal, and once they trust you and no longer run away, there is a selection of cat toys available to play with your new feline friends around the village. And as every kitty needs a fishy treat, it's time to dust off Freddy's old fishing rod down by the lake. Once you've begun restoring the village, Freddy the bear will return to his campsite in the forest, and with him he brings the knowledge of fishing. Once you've learnt the basics and caught your first fish, it's time to, you guessed it, fill out your fishing encyclopedia, as different types of fish frequent different locations at different times of day, and each of these new fish might just be the favourite flavour of a certain fluffy friend. Introducing the stunning pastel scenery of the Cloudy Valley, from its pinks and purples to its baby blue hues, with areas both above and underground, this location has so much to explore. With 4 new potions to help you navigate your way through puzzling environments, as well as 14 new life forms to discover and record, from the adorable and fluffy cotton doggy, who looks just like a ball of candy floss and needs a good bath to collect its fur, to the tail-breathing croc, an adorable water-based creature who breathes through its tail and needs your help to decongest it from dust and crystal formations. And it's not just cute creatures, the plants look like sweet treats too, from the rainbow stem bellady, which grows near bodies of water and needs to be quickly harvested with a trowel, to the moongur flower, which looks even more like candy floss. And as a certain good witch of the north said, there's no place like home. So it's time to turn this old abandoned house into one. Upgrade your house to make it more roomy, and then get decorating using a wide variety of furniture, wallpapers and flooring that you discover across the map, and expand your collection of crafting recipes by purchasing new ones from Diane with Luna coins. Don't like the colour? No problem, you can customise that as well with a selection of dyes. And the beautification process doesn't just stop at your house, you can even decorate your broom. And now, with the game's full 1.0 release, the main storyline is finally complete. I won't spoil it for you, but I will say that it's charming and rich with the perfect dose of mystery. To explore the new content, you first need to progress to Act 3 of the main storyline, where a strange letter you receive in the mail prompts a visit to the White Cat God, who sends you on your way to the Starsea Cave. After guiding you to a knight who claims that the Starsea Cavern lies to the south of the village, past a bridge that has long since been destroyed, it's time to get rebuilding once again. Once you help the villagers construct not one but 2 new bridges, you can finally visit the southern side of the village, an area which has unfortunately succumbed to the mysterious prickly vines. And of course, their source leads deep into the Starsea Cave. And once you've ridden the village of those pesky vines, it's time to introduce 4 new villagers. I can't wait to meet them. Not to mention, this update added a brand new and massive location called the Starsea Cave, featuring stunning night-inspired sceneries that will leave you starry-eyed, 13 new cave-dwelling life forms, each designed with the beauty of a star-strewn night, and 4 new potions which are sure to help you navigate the plethora of puzzles left behind by the previous witch, which you must solve in order to descend into the cavern. Stumble into the darkness of the Starsea Cave to the south of the village as you continue on your quest to find the previous master witch of your house, solving the strange puzzles she has seemingly left behind to make your way deeper into the cave system. But you won't be able to solve these puzzles without a little magic and whimsy, expertly crafting 4 new potions from the ingredients you find in the cavern to overcome every obstacle in your way. From step boards to flames of starfire with the power to activate new and never before seen stone mechanisms. From the easily frightened fog fox who can dissipate into thin air, but still leaves a trail of blue paw prints, to the peanut bat whose wings are underdeveloped and require a little assistant to fly and complete its molt, and plant species like the shooting star flower whose seeds are a useful ingredient in the light hands potion, which allows the user to enhance their throwing distance. Each new life form discovered will provide a unique ingredient, which can then be processed and brewed into helpful concoctions. A Little Witch in the Woods has so many amazing quality of life features which make gameplay an absolute breeze, as well as fun and unique minigames, an in-depth and rich story, which is as wholesome as it is bewitching, and plenty of puzzles to solve. So let's take a look at some of my favourite features. As far as quality of life considerations go, there are a ton, each more useful than the last. For starters, I really like the game's map system, which is unlocked early on in the game, and requires you to discover various sections of the map from signposts located throughout the world and add them to your journal. I personally feel that this adds a fun extra dimension to exploration, as you have to essentially earn your maps, kind of like a treasure hunt. Some other useful features of the map system is that the locations of NPCs are shown, although only on the map page that they are currently on, and you can even enable different icons for the map exits, which I find significantly improves its readability. However, there are some aspects of the map system that I would personally change, which I'll touch on a bit later in the video. Another amazing quality of life enhancement are the witch stations. These are essentially teleporters and are unlocked fairly early on, which makes travelling across the world much easier. Not to mention, when progressing in the main storyline quest, you're automatically teleported to significant quest locations, such as the tea tree at the top of the mountain, when necessary, which saves a lot of time walking. And with the automatic item sorting feature, you can reorganize both your chest and inventory items by type for ease of access. You can save the game at any time during the day from the journal in your home, so you don't have to wait until bedtime like many other LifeSim games, and you can even access your previous save states, so if you want to go back in time and replay a day to change a decision, you can do so very easily. The game is accessible to players of all audiences and backgrounds, with thorough and detailed tutorials, although it would be good to have them saved in the journal so that they can be revisited if needed, an intuitive UI and controller support, not to mention the beautiful graphics and adorable new startup screen are an added bonus. As for the fun and unique gameplay mechanics, the potion system was in-depth and super fun, and although it is repetitive by nature, it feels relaxing rather than boring, with the addition of fun challenges that keep the minigame loop fresh, from preventing the pot from overboiling to getting the heat setting adjusted just right. The game's journal system is easy to navigate and provides detailed information on every life form you come across and record, making it an especially fun feature for completionists like myself. I love the addition of taking notes on each creature to learn more about them, as it adds an extra level of intrigue to gameplay and almost feels like an extra minigame. The friendship system, unlocks slightly further into the game once the first villager returns, is similar to that of other cozy life sims, featuring a profile for each of the characters you've met alongside their liked and disliked gifts, which can be discovered through trial and error or through the hints dropped throughout each character's dialogue. I love each of the villagers in this game. Every one of them feels unique and comes alive with their own personality. From Rubram the little fox with a predisposition for adventure and a thirst for tea, to the not flying carpenter Kyla with a no fluff personality and a bit of a drinking problem. The more you get to know each character, the more they will reveal their stories, and they may even ask for your aid in a variety of side quests. Speaking of side quests, there are hours of fun and captivating gameplay in those alone. I find that this game really undersells itself in terms of how much content it actually includes, as the devs state that there are only around 10 hours of gameplay for the whole story, but in reality, as a casual player who's taken their time, dilly-dallying and completing every side quest I come across, I've put in 10 hours and I haven't even finished the first act out of 3 yet. Not to mention, the main storyline is in-depth and has a good length of content with just the right amount of mystery and of course a good dose of witchcraft and whimsy. I don't want to spoil too much, but the main premise of the story is uncovering the source of the strange prickly vines that are plaguing the village and discovering the potentially perilous past of the previous witch of the house. With lots of unique and stunning locations to explore, each featuring different creatures and plants to discover and new gameplay mechanics to uncover, from swimming, fishing and novel methods of transport, there is always something new to do in A Little Witch in the Woods. And with lots of puzzles to solve in order to progress in the main storyline, each with a good level of difficulty, not so difficult it feels impossible, but not so easy that it's unfulfilling, and a potionology based solution, every new recipe you learn will have its use. I really enjoyed that every potion has a purpose in the main storyline, being a core aspect of the game's puzzle mechanics, and that none of them feel useless or like they're just there to fill out the journal. Broomsticks make getting around so much easier, with different quality levels and customizations available to make them uniquely yours, and with lots of kitty cat friends wandering around the village to play with, what's not to love? While the 1.0 release is amazing and feels super fleshed out, there are still so many super fun additional and quality of life features I'd love to see in future updates. Firstly, let's talk about some quality of life tweaks that I would personally make if I were on the dev team. For starters, I'd love to see a couple of revamps to the map system. While it's already great, there are a couple of additions that would make it absolutely perfect. It would be good to have a toggleable mini-map, as well as quest markers on the map, and some other additional quality of life considerations would be to show business open and closing times, which buildings or map exit NPCs are located at, as well as the ability to create your own customizable map markers. It would also be so cool to have a large map mode that combines all the smaller area maps into one cohesive one. This would be a good feature to be able to toggle on and off, but mainly I think that it would look so cool and it would also make an amazing desktop wallpaper. I'd also love to see a revamp to the witch stations, as they currently only work one way, and this limitation feels pretty inconvenient and kind of pointless. I feel like it would be much better to be able to teleport to any witch station from any other one, maybe adding an in-between network or corridor to pick which location you'd like to go to. Another way of implementing this could be adding symbols for witch stations on a large world map and allowing you to teleport to any of them from anywhere, no matter where you are, similar to Infinity Nikki's warp spires. It would be nice to be able to save from anywhere on the map, for example from the pause menu, rather than having to return to the witch's house every time you want to save, as this is especially inconvenient later in the game once you've unlocked a larger area of the map, although I suppose not as inconvenient as only being able to save by sleeping. Alternatively, save statues could be utilised, which would be located across the map in a similar fashion to in Rune Factory, or maybe an autosave feature could be implemented. I also feel that the different save states per save file are not organised the greatest, as they're currently organised in chronological order of the most recent played, but I personally think they should be organised by save file and then have a drop down to see the chronological order, just because currently when you're playing with multiple save files, the save states kind of get jumbled easily. The game's intro is still a bit strange as I remember, and although it does teach you how to interact with the NPCs and how the keywords feature works, I feel like this could have been done in a better way, as currently the intro is not the most intriguing and also kind of repetitive. Given that this is the player's first impression of the game, I feel the intro should be more representative of the fun and captivating gameplay that you'll get to experience afterwards. The keywords feature could also easily be introduced later in the game when Ellie is researching the prickly vines at the village, and the train scene could serve as more of a backstory for her. And a couple smaller things are the storage system, keyboard controls, and the ability to process multiple items. I would love to see all of the chests interconnected for ease of access to your items. This would also make for a cool unlockable feature, for example a large magical device that can be upgraded to increase its capacity throughout the game. And as for the keyboard controls, currently the arrow keys are used for movement, which I find to be a little weird, although I can get used to it. But honestly, WASD is the standard in the gaming community, and so I think it would be beneficial to swap the default keybinds around while the release is still fairly new. Otherwise, it would be good to add custom key binding so players can do this for themselves if they wish. And finally, it would be a huge quality of life improvement to be able to process multiple items or brew multiple potions at once, saving time watching animations and playing minigames. And now let's get into what I'd love to see in some larger future updates. Firstly, I'd love to see the addition of cooking and kitchen witchery to the game. I personally found the stamina system to be quite annoying, and while I understand that it can add a fun challenge, in its current state I would rather just remove it or have actions cost less stamina because I felt like I was constantly running out, especially earlier on in the gameplay loop. Revamping the stamina system would definitely be a perfect way to introduce a cooking feature to the game, and it would also give the stamina system more of a reason to be present, as it would push the necessity of making food for Ellie. Currently, you can only forage for small food items or buy food from Arden, but with the addition of kitchen witchery, you'll be able to learn new food recipes and cook your own meals with a variety of useful debuffs. Not to mention, it could add more to Arden's character, as he could give Ellie cooking lessons and sell certain recipes. Another future update I would love to see is a gardening system, and now I know what you're thinking. You don't have to add gardening and farming to every single cozy game, or I'm sick of farming games, I want something different. But hear me out. For a game based around witchcraft, which is notoriously heavy on the plants and gardening, I think it would fit in perfectly as an additional feature. Rather than farming as the main feature to earn money and progress, it would be a feature that is additive to the current gameplay experience, rather than trying to replace it. I think it would be super cute to have a little herb garden or even a little greenhouse for Ellie to experiment with poisons maybe, such as belladonna and foxglove, and then discover their antidotes as well, because obviously she's not an evil witch. This could be a great way to incorporate a major story update in the future as well, continuing on from the finished main story, kind of like a sequel, if the devs ever wanted to add more to the game, as it's the perfect opportunity to add more ingredients and potions, as well as a magic theme mechanism for taking care of your plants, to really set the game apart from other typical farming sims. For example, there could be spells to summon rain, the use of the nutrition potion to speed up plant growth, magical fertilizers that increase plant yield. It would also be a great way to incorporate the writerings more, as currently they seem to just be collectible even though their clovers are considered a currency in game. I haven't actually found a use for them yet. And they are plant creatures, so it would make sense for these spirits to assist Ellie on her endeavour into farming. Maybe she could buy tools from them or other useful items using their currency. Or maybe there could be a cute writering themed furniture set that you can redeem your clovers for. With or without these features, the game is still amazing and super fun, but I definitely love for the devs to take some of these ideas into consideration. And before you check out the game for yourself, here are some tips and tricks that I picked up from my experience playing. Remember to get to bed by 2 AM, as passing out means that you'll wake up late the next day and start the day with less energy. However, you won't lose any of your items or money. Make sure you don't leave any items dropped on the floor when you exit the game, as these will not be saved and will disappear. When collecting ingredients, look for unique variants with different appearances, as recording these with your quill will add to your knowledge and count towards leveling up your rank for that particular ingredient, giving you helpful rewards and higher item drops. Keep an eye on the durability of your broomstick, ensuring you've always got stones, branches or mud available to repair it at the workstation, as it's definitely annoying to be without it. Not to mention, it's always good to keep some of those resources in your inventory as well, in case you come across new witch stations or your previously restored ones are low on durability, so that you can repair them and easily teleport home. Make sure you're always carrying food in your inventory and gather any edible forageables you come across, such as cran apples, as these require no energy to collect but will provide 10 energy points when consumed if you find yourself in a pinch. And it's always a good idea to have nutrition potions on hand, as there are many hidden areas that require these to access, from wilted beanstalks to walk across and dead vines to climb up. Don't forget to check the candy delivery service by talking to Diana Aurea and asking for quests. This refreshes every Monday and Thursday and allows you to sell specific candies at a higher rate than they are normally purchased for. But don't accept deliveries that you can't complete, as you will be penalised. And ensure that you deliver the day before the refresh. The more deliveries you complete, the more lists you will unlock, allowing you to make even more money. And finally, if you're lazy like me and in need of a mandrake but can't be asked to go back to your house to make an earmuff potion, you can actually collect one without it. But no more than that, as you will faint and the item will disappear. This is indicated by a white swirl debuff above Ellie's head. So who is this game for? A Little Witch in the Woods is the perfect game for players who enjoy a rich fantasy story and don't mind reading lots of dialogue. Not to mention, with its adorable 2D pixel graphics, I definitely recommend this title to anyone who loves games like Coffee Talk and Tavern Talk, but is looking to branch out into more exploration-driven gameplay. But don't worry, you still get to make drinks, or in this case potions. I found this game to be a really good length, and I would estimate that, including all the side quests and aiming for a 100% completion rating, the entirety of the 1.0 release has at the very least 30 hours, if not more, of gameplay, making it the perfect size to sink your fangs into this spooky season. Not to mention, its controller support and intuitive UI makes the game super accessible to witches of every ability level. But I do want to mention that for my fellow life sim lovers who look forward to this feature in their games, that there is no romance system in this one, although that would be a little weird to include because Ellie is canonically only 16 and many of the NPCs are much older. However, as someone who does love romance in a life sim game, I definitely don't feel the lack of it takes away from this particular one, as there is so much other content to explore that you don't even really notice that it's absent. In conclusion, I found A Little Witch in the Woods to be a super fun and fleshed out experience. I remember playing it very early on during its early access, and while it definitely felt like an early access game back then, I am pleased to report that there is no hint of that feeling now. There is so much to explore, the world is visually stunning, and it has a touch of fantastical whimsy that is perfect for the upcoming spooky season, making it a game that is definitely worth picking up this autumn. I found this game to be super good value for money, coming from someone who did actually pay for it during its initial early access release. For $15 you get a really large amount of content, a robust and captivating storyline, and lots of fun gameplay features, way better than forking out $60 to $70 for the current AAA slop on the market right now. But as I mentioned earlier, the game will be receiving a forthcoming price increase, and while I'm not actually sure by how much it will be, I doubt it'd be more than $5, it's worth checking out the game now while you can get it at its early access price. And don't forget about that extra 10% off until the 28th of September. And before I sign off, I just wanted to give another huge thanks to the team at Sunnyside Up. When the team reached out to me for this collaboration, they provided a game key, but as I've already mentioned, I purchased the game during its initial early access release, so now I have a spare that they are very kindly allowing me to give away to one of you. So to be in for a chance to win, comment your Instagram handle and why you're excited for A Little Witch in the Woods down below. The winner will be announced over on my Instagram a week after this video goes live and will be sent the key via DM, so make sure yours are open. And just a note for your safety, I will not ask for any information from the winner. The key will be sent as a DM with a congratulatory message. Please do not send any information or payment to anyone claiming that you have won a game key, whether it's from me or any other giveaway, and my official Instagram handle is at emochii.yt. So that was my thoughts on the new 1.0 release for A Little Witch in the Woods. My favourite part of the game is definitely the in-depth story, but I also love the heartfelt characters and the fun creature collection aspects and journaling. Just a quick reminder that the game will be released on the 15th of September on Steam, and to definitely take advantage of the current discount if you're interested, make sure to comment down below which feature you're most excited for and leave your Instagram handle for a chance to win a game key. And don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, as it really helps the channel to grow and reach other cozy enthusiasts. As always, thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day/night.